You are now listening to the Role Players Podcast.
Welcome to the Role Players Podcast, where we give you your weekly sports that you may not have caught throughout the week, and sometimes we give you a little bit more than that. I'm your host, Byron, along with Philosophical J, and you know him as Friday Night Fowler. And we got a sit-in producer tonight, Mr. Nick Notice. Thanks for coming through and doing this for us. We are treating you all this week with some high school football talk. That's right. I know a lot of you probably have been wanting this. I've had some comments, had some tweets. High school football. Well, we're doing it tonight, and we have a special guest in the house. We have none other than Mr. Coach Brown himself from Mount Tabor High School. Coach Brown, thanks for coming on the show. How you doing, man?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. We know that y'all are gearing up for another big season. Hopefully, it's a chip involved.
Yeah, that's always the plan, man. You always want to win 2 championships.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot's been going on with high school football around here. You know, I was doing my research, and, you know, I was seeing that you all moved from, 4A to 3A. You all have been doing big things. Last year, you went 10-5, and you went, 6-0 in the conference, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all take...
Actually, we haven't lost in the conference my first 2 years as head coach.
Oh, that is major. That is major. So, I mean, how has it been transitioning to the head coaching role?
Oh man, it's been a dream of mine ever since I was a little boy, man. I'm originally from Richmond County, where you know, you could pretty much say football is God there, and so I've always been around it. I come from a football family. I have 2 younger brothers. One is the head coach at North Met, and the other one is a defensive coordinator at Lexington High School. So football has been in my blood, and this is what I've always wanted.
Okay, excellent, man. I see it's been in the bloodline. It's been in the works since birth.
Absolutely.
All right, so, you know, it's a big season coming up for Mount Tabor football, man. How have you prepared the team for this upcoming season?
Well, we've been practicing ever since May, man. We started spring ball. We had 10 days of practice, and we've been practicing 4 times a week in the summer. And me and my staff, we really try to put our kids through a lot of stress. We throw a lot of different things at them while the season will be a little bit easier. At Mount Tabor, we play in a lot of big games. We have a tough schedule, and we had actually my first 3 years, our schedule has been extremely tough. So we try to put those guys through a little bit of stress throughout the summer that'll make Friday nights easier.
Okay. That's good stuff right there, man. You know, you definitely got to put them through the ringer because, you know, once the season gets going, it gets long.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You know, but
I'm kind of I'm a high-strung coach, and I get after it. I'm real intense, so if the kids can handle me, they can handle anything on a Friday night.
Oh, I like to hear that.
So, all right, Coach Brown, this is Philosophical J. You know what I'm saying? One of my questions I got for you, because as a head coach, and I coach as well, as we both know that I coach the Tiny Packers. So, as a coach, it's all about Johnny and Joe's X's and O's. So what is the most important thing you do to prepare for a game?
You know, as a coach, we're going to meet on Sunday, and it's going to take us about between 4 to 5 hours, and we're going to put together a game plan. Sometimes it takes 8. We're not going to leave there on Sunday until we have exactly everybody's on the same accord and we have our plan for the week. You want to prepare for everything. Every coach in high school, they're going to have an answer for whatever you do. So you got to be ready to answer that, whatever they done threw at you. So we try to prepare in our defense, our offense, and our special teams. We try to have built-in adjustments each week for what we think they're going to do once they see this. And we try to do that in all three phases. So we try to dot all our I's, cross all our T's, make sure that the game plan is working. And if it ain't working, we got to figure out why, and we got to fix it. You never want to go into a game and you went through practice and you couldn't figure it out. Well, what you think gonna happen in the game? The same thing. So you gotta get it. You gotta get it fixed before that Friday night.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's good stuff right there.
What's up, Coach Brown? This is this is Friday Night Fowler.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. As Friday Night as a guy who travels around the triad, goes to a lot of football games. You had one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic player in the triad, maybe the state last year, in Jaquan Albright. And,
yes, sir. Absolutely.
And, my question to you, Coach Brown, is now that he's graduated and moved on, what do you plan to do with your offense now that he's gone? I understand that you have McIntyre coming up from JV. What's going to be your game plan without Do-It-All Albright?
Well, Albright was a great player. And, a lot of people ask me that question. And I tell them real simple. Albright couldn't have did those things without his other 10 teammates on that field. And a lot of those guys that he played with, they're coming back to this team. We was extremely young last year. We started 5 sophomores on defense and 2 on offense last year. And now them guys are juniors with a lot of experience. They got 15 games in last year. So we really have to rely on team play, man. At Mount Tabor, we believe in the 3 A's. All in, all together, in all three phases. And, if you play for one another, you're going to play a little bit harder. You're going to dig down a little bit deeper. And if you all into the program, whatever's going on, you're fully in tune. And I really believe in those two things, man. You got to be all in. You got to be all together. In all three phases, you can't take special teams off. Special teams win ball games. We hang our hat here at Mount Tabor on special teams. We're going to get good field position. We're going to put teams in awkward positions on special teams. And, that's what I believe in.
All right. I like that. Like those outlooks right there, Coach. Like those outlooks.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's just going to be team. Yeah, it's just going to be team.
Okay. You're back with Byron now. Now I know that you said you prepared your team, and you say you've been going 4 days, like you've been going hard. But the head coach kind of, the team goes as the head coach goes. So what is it that you do specifically to prepare for the season as the head coach?
Number one, man, I live it. This is my life. I mean, this is what I do. My family works around it. My kids, I live football. And throughout the year, I'm constantly going to different schools, getting different opinions, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and sometimes coaches seem to think that their way is the best way. Well, then you run into a team like Weddington. And so you got to go figure things out. Each year, you got to improve. The day you stop learning is the day you need to retire. So all year long, I'm constantly learning different ways to play different defenses or to put pressure on the other team. I'm constantly learning. So, that's how I prepare myself mentally. I get out here and I ask questions. I go to clinics. I get online. I get online and watch things. I subscribe to a lot of different football sites. You just got to constantly learn, man. You got to continue to improve every year. Because if you didn't do something well last year, you got to fix it. You got to go out and fix it. So, I push my coaches real hard to get out here and learn, and I get them literature. I get them all the tools they need to become a better coach. So that's how I roll. And myself, I just continue to learn, and I go hard. my team is going to always work hard because I'm one of the hardest working people they know. If we got a fundraiser, I'm there. I'm hands-on. I'm not the type of head coach that sits back and let things go. I'm the type of head coach, I'm right in there with you. So, that's how I live my life, man. This is football. I love it.
Hey, that's good stuff right there. We love it too, man.
So real quick, I got a real serious question. Coach coming from a coach. So we know football don't change, but the kids change, the era change. So what does it mean when they say a coach has lost his team, and how do you prevent that from happening?
I've seen that before. Okay, and a coach can lose his team by simple things, not loving his kids. If the kids know that their coach is not down with them, they ain't gonna play hard for it. But if them kids know that their coach will do any and everything for you, they're gonna go hard for you. So the small things that coaches do that nobody see, rides home, rides through different camps, help them with some lunch money one day, or just taking them out to eat. Just little things like that people don't see behind the scenes that means a lot to those kids. Late night phone calls. I got 5 guys in college right now that's dressed out today. And every last one of them, I've been on the phone with them, talking to them, encouraging them, things like that. Stuff like that, man, them kids will never forget that. And I do my same kids the same way. I constantly have conversations with them. I'm not going to say I'm a daddy. I'm more like a big brother because I don't want to say I'm that old yet. So I'm constantly in their ear, man, and just showing them I truly, truly care. And when you leave Mount Tabor program, it's 2 things that I want to make sure this instilled into. Working hard, you're going to be a hard worker. And number 2, you're going to learn to love your neighbor. I like those 2 things, man. I'm big on it, man. You got to love one another. And I think the world would be a better place if we all love one another. And you got to work hard. All of them, they want to be fathers one day. You got to provide. And in order to provide, you got to work hard. So them days when you're not feeling your best, then the days you should go hard. And that's what I preach to my kids.
Okay, I like that, man. That's good stuff, man, because I think a lot of times coaches kind of lose that vision that, it's bigger than football. You got to be there for the kids because you're really grooming those kids. And Absolutely. You just got to care about them, simply.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's good stuff, man. That's excellent stuff. Now, I know I heard you say you have some guys out here in college. So, we want to know, where can we look for some of those Spartans on the next level? Who are they and where are they at?
Well, we have Kendrick Patterson. He's the quarterback at Elizabeth City. He started as a true freshman. We have Jaquan Albright. He's out in Kansas at Hutchinson Junior College. He's out there playing slot, trying to get his grades to the point where he can go to a 4-year college. I have another offensive lineman, Jacob Eaton. He's at Lackawanna, Pennsylvania, and that's a junior college also. He's trying to get his GPA up. I'm looking forward for both of them guys to start. I have Zaquez McMillan. He's at Bluefield College down there in Virginia. Jalen Scott. He's another lineman that I had last year. He's at Bluefield with Scott. They both roommates. And Qmar Price this year, he'll be playing for Avery up there in Virginia. But I have a lot more, but those are the ones from last year.
Okay, sweet. Guys, you got any other questions?
Coach Brown, this is Friday Night Fowler. I'm
yes, sir.
Kind of have a little fun with you right here before we get off. Like you said, your first 2 years in the conference, you've gone undefeated. Me being, like I said, a traveler of the triad, I'm a big Deadly Panther supporter. So
okay.
My question to you is, when it comes down to your conference, who do you think is your biggest rival? Is it the Dudley Panthers or is it the Parkland Mustangs?
That's
In your opinion.
You say that's a tough one.
Both of those games are championship games. I mean, it really depends on who we play first, man.
Right.
I got all the respect in the world for Dudley. Coach Davis, his resume speaks for himself. I got a chance to hear him speak at Virginia Tech 2 years ago.
Right.
And he opened up by saying hard work. That's his deal too. And getting 2 wins over those guys was huge. But it also done put a bullseye on our back,
Right.
But we up for the challenge, and we know they're gonna come down here this year, and they're gonna be ready to play. And and when we play Parkland, everybody wants to see that game because me and Coach Marshall worked together for a whole decade, and so I really don't know which one the biggest right now. I would just say we play Dudley first, and we play Parkland second, the last game of the season. So both of those games will be championship games, if you ask me. And now that Norfolk Cycle has dropped out of our conference, each week is going to be a conference championship game because if you lose one, it's a good chance that you might not win the conference.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, Coach Brown, I wish you nothing but success this year, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Same to y'all, fellas. I know y'all coaching as well. Same to y'all.
Yeah, man. Thanks. We'll try to get out there and see your Mount Tabor Spartans take off on the 3A this year. And we do appreciate you coming through on the Role Players podcast. And we got to catch up with you during the season, man. We got to catch up with you.
Yeah. Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. So, as I guess a bonus treat for the high school continuation, high school football, if you don't know, Friday Night Fowler, as he said before, he is a traveler of the triad. He gets out there and, just like Coach Brown, he lives it. He goes from stadium to stadium, school to school. And he has an article that's going to be released. When is it going to be released?
It's coming out next week, the Winston-Salem Chronicle. I've come up with 20 teams, 15 teams, and 5 honorable mention of the triad that I've been doing. I started out with basketball this past year, but this will be my first one with football. And it's coming out in the Winston-Salem Chronicle next week. So, yeah, for everybody that's listening that's been asking me for the past 6-7 months, what's my poll, what I got going on, just look for it in the Chronicle next week. It will be coming out, but
okay,
it's here. It's that time. Let's get down, baby.
Oh, okay.
So I see
like
I see your juices flowing, man. And
I
see
like
him.
that.
I see him all over the place. But I have one beef with you.
And what's that, brother? What's that, man?
What high school did you attend?
Oh, well, okay. Let's get it out.
Hey, come on.
Answer the high school you attended.
Come on with it.
I started out at East Forsyth High School.
Oh.
In Kernersville, North Carolina. Unfortunately, then I transferred and went to North Forsyth. I found my home. Viking Pride. 5705 Shutterline Drive. That's where it's at, baby.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So don't question. Don't come to me with that. You feel me?
Okay, I'm a Viking too. I'm a Viking. I'm not coming for you.
I'm a Viking through and through, and I was a big part. And my last year over in North, Coach Brown played for Mount Tabor. They stuck it to us pretty bad. Art Brown put on a show. So hold up. Before I said my last year. So before you go any further, it was 98, 16-13. We lost that one. So
I thought you were 97.
No.
Oh,
98.
wow.
So before I go any further,
right there.
before I go any further,
Actually, it was 16-14.
16-14. Yeah, you correct. I knew it was something.
Okay.
I knew
we was up 14-0.
I knew.
You
I
are
knew.
the historian of the triad.
I remember being on the sideline, and I said, because I play defense. I play offense. I play wide receiver. I remember saying, I can go out there and play corner, and I can tackle him because he ran for over 200 yards on us. So that's the only time I lost to Mount Tabor. But anyway, so how in the hell are you an advocate for the Dudley Panthers? How did that happen?
You got to understand.
Because I ain't nothing. Did you hear him say anything? And I was part of. We send a lot of people to Valhalla. That's what we call it out on our
Valhalla
on our field. We call it sending them to Valhalla. So how in the hell are you an advocate for the Dudley Panthers? Nothing in there says Panthers. Just say Eagles and Vikings. And I think an Eagle and a Viking doesn't make a Panther, does it?
You have to understand. How can I put this? I try to break this down to some people. There's a brotherhood of schools that I support.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Schools that most people turn their back on, most people overlook because of certain situations or whatnot. Actually, Norfolk High School and Dudley High School has a lot in common. You see what I'm saying?
Now they do.
They were actually, well, it is what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Dudley High School is in this so-called brotherhood of schools that I support.
Okay.
That's why I said that.
Okay, I'm just trying to see inside the mind of Friday Night Fowler before that article drop in there.
Oh, you just trying to bust his chops.
No,
I'll
go ahead and put it out because I don't have nothing.
Put it out there.
The brotherhood of high schools, in my opinion, Norfolk High School, Winston-Salem Prep, Carver, Parkland, Dudley, Smith, High Point Andrews, West Charlotte, Burlington Cummings. You get the picture. You know what I'm saying? That's the brotherhood.
Okay, we got you. We got you.
I got you, man.
So what I want to get from you is a sneak peek for all of the listeners out there that's listening to the Role Players Podcast. Again, do not miss that article in the Chronicle because it's not a team unless Friday Night Fowler mentions them in his top 15, his 15 poll with his honorable mention 5. So we want to get the honorable mention 5 starting at 20 to 16. Just give us that peek.
Now let me ask this before he gives that peek. Is this all the schools in North Carolina? It's just
the triad.
Just the triad area.
Triad.
Okay.
Yeah, just the triad.
Let's have it.
Okay, starting at number 20, 5705 Shadowline Drive, the Norfolk Vikings.
What? Okay, the Vikings made the list. What? Do you disagree?
I'll wait until you're done.
Yeah, wait till he's done. Bobcat J.
Number 19, Coach McCoy and the Walkertown Wolfpack.
Okay.
That's a good choice. There's a lot of hidden talent out there. And McCoy is a hell of a coach.
Number 18, the Ben L. Smith Golden Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I like that.
Number 16, Bobcats, the Glen Bobcats.
Oh, the Glen Bobcat. Okay.
So you don't even have to look. You just know it.
He lives it.
He lives it, man.
He told you,
I'm
man.
not Friday Night Fowler for nothing, brother.
Friday Night Fowler.
Friday Night Fowler fumbled one of his picks at number 20.
Oh man,
here we go.
we got some hatred in the room.
And what makes it so bad about that?
Go
this
ahead.
dude crossed the stage at Norfolk High School.
Right.
I'm not biased.
Come on,
I'm not biased either.
I keep it 100.
But I'm keeping it 100. Okay.
Let's get the last.
And number 16, the Southwest Guilford Cowboys.
That's a good choice.
Okay. So
I can take that one.
Going recapping back, we got the Vikings at 20. Who you got at 19?
Which Vikings?
The Norfolk Vikings.
You got
The
we got a
Norfolk
Northwest.
Vikings.
We
You're
got
right.
a Northwest
The
Vikings.
Norfolk Vikings at 20.
The Walkertown Wolfpack at 19.
18.
The Smith Golden Eagles.
Okay. 17.
The Glen Bobcats.
And 16.
The Southwest Guilford Cowboys.
Yeehaw. All right. Hey, I know that you're probably saying, well, hey, why didn't my team make it? Because you have to you got to read the article. You have to read the article. It's from Friday Night Fowler. That means I'm giving the role player stamp of approval. It is legit. Do not miss that article. Get out there, support the Chronicle, man. Support our guy and your guy too. Friday Night Fowler, Jamal. The man is a legend of the triad. He holds it down in these triad streets and gridirons. So we definitely appreciate it. I appreciate it more so than Jay, obviously, because he is upset with the number 20, man. Why you mad at Norfolk Site?
Because my problem with number 20 is rebuilding, and when the key word is rebuilding. So whenever you're in the rebuilding stage, there's really no expectations. You're trying to build.
No, there's always expectation. Tell him, Jamal.
Give me 2 players from North Forsyth that you have on the radar. I'm just curious because I'm an alumni in North Forsyth, and when I walk down those halls, I kind of get goosebumps. I get chills, and I have a young cousin that's playing for North Forsyth right now.
Give him some more chills.
Playing
Jamal.
quarterback. So I'm just curious, and who do you have on radar?
Okay, we're starting our number. Wide receiver senior Marquez Hurst. One of the best players in the city.
That's one name for you.
I mean, for the simple fact, because of course we haven't been winning a lot in the past few years. But Marquez Hurst. Then we got safety running back Dedrick Hickman.
Okay.
Also a senior.
Okay.
Of course, and we ought to know about that name, Hickman.
Yeah, we know all about the Hickman name.
But Dedrick's gonna show out this year, brother.
I think that's the nephew of Cedric Hickman?
Yes.
Yeah, the legend at North Forsyth High School. If you don't know triad football, one thing that you got to know is Cedric Hickman. The man was a barreling ball of rage and fire and brimstone just running through defenders, man. That was something to watch. That was during my heyday.
I remember that.
I know you do, man, because you know the triad, man. You know the triad.
I can remember going to some of those games. It could be a random game. And I'd be like, how is he here and then he's there?
Because he's Friday Night Fowler. You can't miss him. He will be out there in the streets. Make sure if you see Friday Night Fowler, you give him an official role player's, hey, guy, don't miss it.
Any more questions? Do you want to know why I put them at number 20?
Hey, man, keep sunning them. Keep sunning him, man.
So I want to know why you put them at 20?
Right. Any more questions?
Sure. Why'd you put them at 20?
Okay.
Because they don't crack my top 20.
I mean, and that's cool.
Get
them. Saying. First of all, you got a new energy, new coaching staff over at North Forsyth High, which has brought a new enthusiasm and more production out to the field. Having been up there and seen what I've seen, we got anywhere between 50 to 55 players out there, which is way more than what's been out there the past 3-4 years. Then on top of that, another thing that hasn't been mentioned, change the classification. No, we're not 3A anymore, we're 2A. And not trying to say that 2A is any less than 3A, but the conference that we're in, I think there's a lot of winnable games that will not only it will increase the enthusiasm of the players, and then give them a chance to win some games that they haven't done the past 2 to 3 years.
So great energy cracks your top 20.
And there's a lot of potential out there too, man. Okay. There's some talent out there too.
Tampa Bay just cracked the top 5.
Oh, man. Here we go with the foolishness. We came into the role player layer saying no foolishness tonight, man. It's August.
It wouldn't be a role player.
It's August, man. It's August.
It's August. And what'd you think about that preseason game?
You know, I was just about to get into that. You read my mind.
I can read.
You read? I guess, you know, when you get a bald head, you can see a little bit clearer. But
the hair is growing back. It's more like a peach fuzz.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, man, for the role player listeners that do not know, Mr. Philosophical J has a philosophical missus now. He's been hitched.
I'm hitched.
He's left me behind. Now both of my brothers are married, and then I'm just the last of the Mohicans.
I think all the role players are married, man.
Not Jamal and
I. Jamal is the unofficial member, but the official 4.
The official 4. I mean, yeah, I'm the last one because if you didn't notice, Mr. Melvin Flint, the hustler, he's a rare voice on the show now.
Yeah.
He's a rare voice. He's doing the husband thing, and then EJ is out tonight. We got another single man in the house tonight, Mr. Nick Notice. We're gonna get into that a little later, but yeah. I guess I am the last of the Mohicans, but congrats, man, on getting married, man.
Congratulations,
Thank you, man. I had a ball. We had a ball. You was the best, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, man. I've never sweat so much than when I was in that damn tuxedo.
Coach June called me after, and he said, "Is your brother all right?" And I said, "Well, which one?" He was like, "The best man." He said, "Man, that joker sweated a gallon up there." And I looked back and I was like, "I seen you in the middle of the ceremony. Wipe your."
I had to pull the rag out the pocket, guys. I had to pull the rag out.
They was worried about me carrying the towel across the stage.
Hey, if I did not pull that rag out, your pictures would have been blown out by the sheen off of my face. I am fine, Coach June. It was just very hot. I wasn't the only one that was hot up there. I wasn't the only one.
Wasn't. I was hot as well.
But back to that preseason football game, man. It was preseason. The transition from high school to professional football.
I hate preseason.
Yeah, the Broncos going against
Falcons.
The Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to have a solid year. I think they're going to have a big year, in my opinion. I think they're going to have a bounce back year. Tony Dungy. If there's one thing I've learned to listen to, it's Tony Dungy. They asked him at halftime. They said, "Well, who do you think your sleeper team? Who are your sleeper teams?" And you know what Coach Dungy said, guys? Do you know what he said? Did you catch it? He said NFC, the Atlanta Falcons. He said he think that they're going to have a bounce back year. I said, so do I, Coach. And then for the AFC, do you know who he said? Do you know? Do you need a hint? Duval. He said that the Jaguars are going to bounce back. He believes in Nick Foles. He believes that Nick Foles can give us just enough to get over that hump and win some games. Don't hate, participate, congratulate. I am doing big things with the Jaguars this year. You cannot miss it. These other guys around the table, the scrubs.
It's time for a drug test. Time to drug test.
No.
All you need to know is only one nation, baby.
Role player nation.
So I got a new spin on preseason football, man.
Come on, give it to me.
Instead of watching those boring games with the third stringers, so until week 3 of preseason, right?
Yeah,
that's when it's more entertaining.
That's really the only week.
How about we go, instead of showing preseason games, why don't Monday be Raider Day and we show live training camp at the Raiders?
Oh no.
All day. And then Tuesday we go to Jacksonville. Wednesday we go to Dallas.
They've gotten so tight on just Hard Knocks and then I watched the All or Nothing. Have you checked out the All or Nothing,
I still
Jamal?
haven't seen the one with the Panthers, but I would love to see
that. Is a good one. That is a good one because I'm telling you, the writing is on the wall for Greg Olsen. If you're a Panthers fan, I'm sorry to say it, but his career is over. I'm going to say it. He injured the foot 3 times last year.
Yeah, he did.
3 times.
3, and they were non-contact plays, pretty much.
And just to hear his commentary, I felt bad for the guy, man. But just to hear his commentary, you can hear the concern that he's kind of like, I can't keep this foot healthy, man. But, yeah, man, he can't keep it healthy. It's the same foot every time, too. But I just think that monitoring or broadcasting training camp, I don't think it'll be beneficial, man. I don't think it'll be beneficial at all because they keep so much under wraps now. Hard Knocks back in the day, like when they did the Ravens. Yeah. Oh, now that was all access. That was total access.
But now these preseason games are not beneficial as well.
What? Last night had a good storyline.
Tell me.
The storyline of John Elway picking these quarterbacks.
Yeah, he has a room full of
Lock
mash.
Looks like a turd, man. He looks horrible. I don't know. They didn't even say anything good about Drew Lock. Like they kept saying, well, he has the big arm, But they used the comparison, and they were basically saying that, you know, he's a lot of potential, but, you know, he has to be taught. And I was like, wow, you know, I don't know, guys. Nobody had anything good to say about Drew Lock. And one of my Jaguar bloggers or whatever, he said he was waiting for the Drew Lock interception so he could go to sleep.
And then he threw it.
Third pass was almost an interception. And I thought he threw one.
No, that was Matt Schaub threw the interception, correct.
Man, Matt Schaub. I saw Matt Schaub and I was like, wow. Do you remember when this guy was top 5, top 10?
I never thought he was top 5.
No, I'm talking statistically.
Yeah.
Statistically.
I forgot he was still in the league.
What I'm saying, though, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was crazy, man. But, you know, I don't know, man. I'm thrilled to see football again. But yeah, it's very bad football. That was some poor football.
Me personally, man, I don't like preseason football, man. I think it's a bunch of glorified scrimmages. Week 3 of preseason it'd be real interesting.
Because it's scripted too. It's scripted.
But week 3 of preseason has got so vanilla because you have some of these guys who just think they're the masterminds of offense, and offense has not changed. Nothing has changed in offense. It's just the personnel change.
Yeah.
So it's nothing major that you're doing, but we still have guys that come out there and they'll play their starter for 2-1 series, the week 3 preseason, and then they'll say, well, you know, we don't want to get them hurt. We don't want to show anything. Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Right.
Then Gruden sit up there and say, we're tough.
Gruden get up there and he says, you know, I really like that guy. I think he's a Gruden grinder. I just want to go and sign.
Are we doing Naw Buddy this week?
Is Joe Montana available? Because he's a Gruden grinder, man. He's a Gruden grinder.
He has a love fest with Peterman.
He does. You know what?
He just came out this week and said, that's my guy, man.
Let's go ahead and do it because we got an NFL edition.
It's nothing personal, man. You
Naw Buddy. If you don't know, Naw Buddy is sing or saying something or however you witness it or do it that may just be a moment that you just say, is that some foolishness? Oh, you can't be doing that because that is a Naw Buddy.
Buddy, no.
And it's just like that. So, Jay, talk about this love fest of John Gruden with Nate Peterman.
This love fest with John Gruden with Nate Peterman. Last year, he traded for this guy, and he's like, yeah, I see a bunch of talent in this guy. After he continues to throw, not 1, not 2, not 3. What LeBron say? Not 4, but 5 interceptions.
5 of them things.
He's done that multiple times in his career, and I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
It's his best highlight.
I kind of got fooled because I see bright spots in his game. But,
as a coach, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I see bright spots, but it's no way in hell I would be glorifying this guy over my starting quarterback that I have. There's no way, man, because he clearly can't show that much promise.
If he, like, what is this? Is this a mind game that he's playing with Derek Carr? Is this a mind game? Because last year he trashed Derek Carr, and I'm addressing this to Mr. Raider Nation representative. He trashed him, and it seemed like he didn't want him, but then y'all kept him this offseason, and now we're going into preseason. And he's saying, "Oh, well, you know, Nate Peterman is my guy." What are we doing? Are we not supposed to be kind of boosting up the guy that had the leg injury and can't bounce back? If he's your guy, then boost him up, right? Come on.
I agree with that, man. I agree with that because Derek Carr played pretty good toward the end of the season. He didn't throw an interception his last 9 games. Played pretty good down the stretch. We just had a horrible defense, man.
I can't wait to see Hard Knocks.
I don't know what's going on personally. When I seen that this week, when I got home and looked on the NFL Network and they sitting there talking about some thing, he like Peterman. I said, what the Mammy Jam? Peterson? Peterman?
Yeah, that's a Kawhi laugh moment.
I just dropped my head, man. Like, yo, here we go.
Say, man, he dropped his head. He said, well, I got to hear from these two guys.
I mean, I'm hearing from y'all regardless, so I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Mr. Gruden grinder, John himself, you're getting a Naw Buddy. And it's just like that. I have a Naw Buddy for the NFL. Now, a lot of times guys come back that's retired or they're not active anymore. They come back and they sign a 1-day contract with the team so that they can retire as whatever team member they were, like for Jimmy Smith or Fred Teller of the Jaguars, they would sign a 1-day contract, come back, sign with the Jaguars so that they can retire officially as that team player. So Steven Jackson, running back, he retired some years ago. He hasn't been active in a while. He wanted to come back and officially retire as a Ram because I believe the last team he played for, was it Atlanta?
I think it was the Falcons.
I think it was the Falcons.
Think it was.
He faded away. It didn't end well for him because he just fell off. Like most running backs, he just declined tremendously fast. But the Rams brought back Steven Jackson for the 1-day honorary contract, and the NFL decided to say, well, if you're signing a 1-day contract, we got to drug test you.
What?
Yeah. They wanted to drug test Steven Jackson, and I think he did it. I think he did the drug test, if I'm not mistaken. But
I would have poured apple juice in that cup.
Oh man, I would have put something else in that cup that comes from the body. It wouldn't have been urine. But
oh man,
you can use your imagination for whatever you want to do. But that's ridiculous. The guy's been retired. I mean, you have a lot of guys that retire. You just had Chris Long retire, and he said that he smokes marijuana all the time.
Openly.
He smoked it during his career. So it's no big deal. But why'd you want to test Steven Jackson? NFL, that's a Naw Buddy, man. What are you doing?
That's a hell no, buddy.
Hell no, buddy. Yeah. That's just too much.
A mammy jammy. No, buddy.
He came through with the mammy jammy. That's a mammy jammy now, but I like that. I think we're going to hold on to that one, man. You brought so many gems to the show, man. So many gems. But,
crazy.
The only gem that you haven't brought to the show is Garoppolo over there. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
What is it? What's that about?
I'm talking because Garoppolo needs to bounce back.
He does.
Yeah. But, I mean, we'll save that for
What's that? That was a personal jab, man?
Yeah, that was a personal jab. No, because, man, you came for my guy today, man. You came for Jamal, man.
Oh, no, I didn't come for Jamal.
You came for
my
Jamal.
Naw Buddy was actually.
For me every week.
My Naw Buddy actually was the Cleveland Browns.
Come on. That's will be a third Naw Buddy, and then we'll do this.
And then we're going to do it. Okay, my Naw Buddy is for the Cleveland Browns because we went all in the offseason. We hired all these guys. Not to mention that we are the Cleveland Browns. So we hired all these guys with all these personalities. You got a head coach who's never been a head coach before, and he has to handle these personalities.
It's a train wreck waiting to happen.
And in the first 2 days of training camp, Baker Mayfield calls out Odell Beckham.
What?
And told him to stop running, not stop pulling up on my routes. When I scramble, you need to come back to the ball. He's yelling in practice. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
What did Odell say?
And Odell pretty much looked at him like, hell no, buddy. Who is this guy? Already. Like,
wow.
Any thoughts on that? Like, what the hell did Cleveland think was going to happen?
I got a thought on that, or better yet, a sound on that.
I got something to say.
It's already started. The NFL is back, and the Cleveland Browns are facing the bottom of the barrel already.
Well, when you're the Cleveland Browns, and everybody wants to talk about my Raiders, but when you're the Cleveland Browns, who hasn't won nothing in I don't know how long, you do anything to get the press that they're getting.
You know what, man? Y'all got a strange connection though, because both of you guys had Hugh Jackson as your head coaches.
But no, there's no connection because Hugh Jackson.
Oh, that is a connection.
No. There's no connection.
That's a connection.
There's no connection, brother. Hugh Jackson was 8-8 and shouldn't have got fired.
Okay.
And if we had won that last regular season game against the Chargers, we would have made the playoffs.
That's a little dice. He got a little rogue in the press conference after the season.
Every time I try to get out of this episode and not give some Raider heat your way, he heats the microwave, man. He presses a button and I warm up.
I just thought about that when he talked about the Brown.
Because you know why? You know why, Byron? Because deep down inside, he wanted to be a Raider.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
He wouldn't be a Raider.
no.
I don't know. I don't know. Because when he said that y'all hired Hugh Jackson at one point, he was your head coach. You know, I always go back to why the hell did you bring back Art Shell? Why did y'all bring back Art Shell? You played with Tom Cable. Like, you guys, when you go head coach searching,
Yeah, Tom Cable.
That's Al Davis, man. Al Davis was in his God bless his soul with
Look at
everything
the
he
face.
did for the game. Everything he did with the game of football, man. His last 30 years is just took a downward spiral, man.
Because, you know, as a Jaguar fan,
He brought in Gruden, man.
it's some pretty frustrating moments for Jaguar fans.
What'd you say?
He brought Gruden in.
Yeah,
That's within
he
30
did.
years.
He shouldn't have. No. You talking about now or first time?
The first time.
Well, he
Because
shouldn't
nobody
have got
wants
rid
him
of
now.
He shouldn't have got rid of Gruden the first time.
Gruden wanted to go.
He wanted to go.
No, they traded. Remember, they traded Gruden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Gruden wouldn't go kiss his butt.
Yeah, that's what
I
Gruden
mean,
wanted
You know what I'm
that.
saying? But what I'm saying is, he should never should have done that. Should have let Gruden do what he do. You know what I'm saying? And everything, it would have been different.
You know, and this may sound bad. I don't mean for it to sound bad, but I thought that when Al Davis, you know, went to that big gridiron in the sky or that press box in the sky. Well, no, I don't think God would give him a press box, but I thought that maybe his son would kind of, you know, right the ship, you know, after seeing it done wrong so many years. And when I see his son, man, I'm like, where was he? Hiding under the stairs or something?
His son,
that haircut, man.
his son was hiding.
That haircut,
He was hiding under the stairs. Then he woke up one day and he say, Las Vegas, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving to Las Vegas.
He said, I mean, he woke up. He woke up and he was like, Dad owned the football team? Sure, I'd be owner.
Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. This is going to be fun.
You know, I promise you, Jamal, we won't rag on you at the end of the next episode because it's going that way every episode. It's his fault. It's Jay's fault. It's Jay's fault.
I mean, I just thought about Hugh Jackson, man.
I will not take any accountability for it.
Every time I think about Hugh Jackson is linked to 3 of the worst franchises in football right now.
Yeah.
And that's the Bengals.
Yeah.
The Browns.
Yeah.
And the Raiders.
And all 3 of them are sitting in the same spot. I mean, it's just...
No.
It's just
I hope the Voodoo Daddy watching this because he supports Hugh
We got to bring back the Voodoo Daddy, man. You know, maybe when the Voodoo Daddy isn't being daddy, you know, we can bring back the Voodoo Daddy. But until then, hey, man, keep getting pops to the
he did good with
to
us,
the Voodoo
man.
Gang.
That's all I'm gonna say about it.
All right,
Yeah, I mean,
got fired, man.
we'll talk about that off there.
he did good, but he was a little wild. But you know,
Yeah, man. He thought he had job security too. He thinks that certain places.
He should have had job security,
Oh, no.
considering where we had been the year when he took over.
but hey,
But see that last press conference did him in, man.
it really did. He was a little wild in that last press conference. But you know, given that the NFL is back. Also back is fantasy football. That's right. The Role Players Fantasy Football is back, guys and girls and ladies and gents. Children of all ages. You know, we take them all. Role Player Fantasy Football is back. We actually have the same setup last year, except this time we're doing it bigger, better, and better for everyone. We're on ESPN. Yeah, that other network. Yeah, we gave the other network some shine. You know, they're not the role players, but they do okay. So check it out. Don't miss out on a spot in the Role Players Fantasy Football Leagues. We have one that's going to have a prize. You have to pay to enter, but it's going to have a cash prize. You don't want to miss out on that. And then we have a free one. But either way, it's going to be competitive football. Love and action. You don't want to miss out on it. It was a hell of a time last year. Last year, we actually had some love from Twin Peaks. That's right, plug. They gave us a private room or a private area. We had a fantasy football draft. All of the Role Player Nation came out. Had a great time. We even had some discount cards given to us. So you don't want to miss out on all that action. Go ahead. Find us on Facebook right now or Instagram or Twitter, sign up. If you don't know how to sign up, shoot us a message and I'll give you the directions, or Jay will give you the directions. Jamal, Melvin, Nick. It's just the whole gang of us. But as a gang, we are the role players. Thank you for listening to another excellent episode. We've been treated with the Mount Tabor Spartans head coach. If you missed that earlier, go back and listen. Again, thanks for listening. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and a lot of other places that you can find your podcast platforms. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us. We have a lot going on, man. We have a lot of great discussions. It's really a great nation of us all. The nation, I can't say enough about them. They're excellent. Not the Raider Nation, Jamal, but the role player nation, the only nation that matters. Because without you guys, there won't be any role players. You guys are the all-stars, and we're just playing the roles in your life of sports on a weekly basis. As always, you've been treated by Byron, Jay, and Mr. Friday Night Fowler with the magic hands of Nick Notice. Be on the lookout for Nick Notice. Jamal, final words?
Don't forget, polls and predictions this week in the Chronicle. Check it out. And from that point on, every week in the Chronicle. My predictions, my polls. Check the Chronicle out.
So
okay, which Chronicle would this be?
The Winston-Salem Chronicle. I'm sorry.
All right.
So make sure you check out the Winston-Salem Chronicle. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss us. Find us on all your platforms. It's been a great time, guys. And as always, roll out.